Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, and for one last time, welcome back to Hokkaido. Hokkaido is a fall and farm themed island, it's stressing the fall part of it, that we built in just 14 IRL days. I will link the playlist down below, but today we're not going to focus on the fall part anymore because I would like to try and turn this island into a spring island instead. Many of you probably have islands that you take through the seasons and you don't necessarily create them just with one specific theme in mind and then delete them like I do. So I thought this would be kind of a fun challenge for me because I usually don't really do this anymore, and also maybe a fun way to show that just with a few tweaks and a few changes you can fully adapt even a completely themed fall island to look like a spring island. I won't be changing the entire island just because I, like I said, don't plan on keeping this island and playing on it. So we're actually only going to do a few areas, but I think the general idea of it still will be transported. And then some of you have been asking me to do this for a winter island, which I unfortunately won't be doing just because I've already done a full winter island and there's only so much inspiration I have. Plus the entire farm theme and all of these farmy nature bits feel kind of weird to me in winter, and so I would have to change quite a lot of things, which I don't know, I'm lacking inspiration. Let me just call it what it is. So instead we're gonna try and turn it into a green spring core aesthetic. The areas I would like to tackle with you today are the entrance, our apple orchard, the campsite, the land bridge leading to my house, and the neighborhood in the back right of the island. Alright, there is quite a list of things to get done, and the very first thing will probably be time traveling to a time where this all is green. I don't want to have cherry blossom trees, but I think somewhere around that springtime will be a good idea. So I will see you in a bit, I guess. Oh my god. Okay, I've apparently chosen day with fog, which is not great, but you know what? We're gonna take a first look at this. Oh my gosh, wait, this is so green. Is this correct? This is April. This looks kind of like summer, I'm not gonna lie. This doesn't look like spring. Oh my god, look at the fog though. I've missed the green, I will say that, but it is very green. I haven't seen this in a while because I'm working on I was working on this fall island, of course, but then the other one that I was working on is my color themed island, which is placed in very early fall. So it's a very, very different color to this. Oh my gosh. That is wild. Okay, let me try and find a day where it's actually nice weather. Okay, here we go. Now we've got a little bit of sunshine. Okay, wow. This is wild. Some parts of this already look kind of perfectly fine. Others look really weird. So let me think. The next step that we can do that is generally for all the areas is to adjust codes. A lot of these are going to be very easy to replace because the creators of these have different versions. A few others I will have to find some new codes. I will leave all of the spring versions in the description box, and all of the fall versions that you see right now are on my website, which I will link down below. So yeah, let's go ahead and get searching, I would say. First up, let's replace this dirt path with the spring version of it. Yes, this is already looking much better. So I exchanged all of these corner pieces, the middle piece, and I also took care of these single tile pathing pieces. Now next up, let me switch the planks to a little bit of a lighter version. And here we go. So now it is a little bit lighter. Okay, interesting. I do have an idea for this leaf circle here. Let's see if this one works. Now, I don't know if it's in any of the areas that we're going to focus on, but I do have an idea for this leaf path as well. So let's switch this one next. Okay, how are we feeling about this one? Oh yeah, this is a lot better already. I think that's actually a good idea. This puddle should be an easy fix as the creator also has a spring version. There we go. Same thing actually also goes for these leaf codes. That looks good to me. And now I also have an idea for this patch of leaves. That should probably do the trick. And I also have an idea for this path here. That looks very, very different. Okay, we don't need to change any of the interior things because we're not going to tackle interiors. I will have to find something else for the fabrics and then these two leaf codes. And then I also still need to find a brick path, but I feel like that's going to be a little bit more complicated because this is not like a 9-tile pathing. So let's start with the easier part of these 2 leaves. I hope that these 2 work. And now I think we can use the same creator of this like patchy dirt path to find some cute spring fabrics. I think this should probably work for the type of aesthetic, and then I believe everything else is very like area specific or interior down here. We can keep the mud puddles, we can keep the crack, and we can keep like that piece of broken fence because those are still like exactly that. Now let me figure out another brick code. Okay, I hope that this one is gonna work. I just used the middle piece twice because they didn't have like 2 different versions. And so that pretty much concludes our codes. They're not the most cohesive, I would say. Like, I feel like if I were to code shop for like a themed island, I might plan it a little bit better. But honestly, I think this is going in the right direction. Okay, season and codes, I think, are the 2 like generic things that we can do that apply to like all like the entire island. And now we'll just tackle it area by area, and we will start with the entrance. And I think the first thing we're going to do here is exchange the pumpkin. So I'm just going to switch out every single fully grown like pumpkin start to a green one. And then we will see how that looks and maybe exchange a few of them to white. And I guess I will just meet you back here. Okay, yeah, this looks very different already. Now the orange like pumpkin things in the background still very much stick out, so we're gonna have to adapt those. But the green mushrooms here, why am I saying mushrooms? The green pumpkins already look very different. Obviously we could add a few more white ones maybe, but I think this is going somewhere good. Now I will work on switching out all of the pumpkin items, although I will say the towers don't look great in the white, like the monochromatic variation, so all of those are going to be green. So this is going to be like a really green build. And also while we're on it, I probably will go in and also switch out the wheat fields for the lighter variation. Unfortunately, all of the white pumpkins are very much more like gray like this. But this is kind of where we currently are. I will say though, I think I would like there to be some more white pumpkins, and I still need to switch out the wheat fields. Okay, I exchanged some of the pumpkins. They still need to grow in though, but before I time travel, we should probably also change Hazel's house because it really doesn't fit in anymore. I think I want to try and keep like the entire shape and all of the elements of the house and just exchange like the colors of it really. So maybe we'll go with the cream panel siding, the pink roof, and a white door, or maybe we can also find some other options. And then let me exchange this color, of course, as well. Okay, I think I prefer that door. Apart from that, we could try and go with this and just look at this. Okay, yes, I think the white pumpkins definitely help the entire area. Now, I will say I'm not a huge fan of Hazel's house just yet, just because of, we haven't really chosen too many like pink items, and we can't really in this area. The pink is just kind of a little weird, and maybe the siding shouldn't be as like bright and light and white, I guess. So maybe we will change that again in a second, but let me take stock of whatever else I would like to change. Now I could go ahead and switch all the log furniture to have like the lighter wooden customization. That is something I could do. Same thing with, I guess, the plain party lights arch. I would like to switch the bottles, I believe, because the dark brown is just kind of weird. I'm pretty sure I have a lighter version of this carriage. I did get some regular like simple wooden fencing in white, so I'm thinking about switching out the country fencing as it is quite like orange here. The thing is about the barrels, I could switch them all. I've been thinking about switching them with the Zenmaizuki barrels because those are a little bit lighter in color. I'll check if I have some of those. But apart from that, you know, barrels can always be used. Maybe just wherever there's a pirate barrel. Maybe that's like a little bit of a compromise, you know? Yeah, so I guess it would look a little bit more like this. I would like to switch out this mushroom as well as that windmill in the back, and because I might want to do it all the way so that this view here is also kind of like a spring vibe, we'll also switch out the gazebo as well as this mushroom parasol. Right, I think I switched out everything that I can. Now I will say, had I planned this as a spring island, I might have done a few of like the wooden things a bit different because some of them I feel like don't fit together the absolute best. But it definitely looks very different to the area that we had when we started. Now, The flowers look very wrong now. I was thinking of a mixture of like white, yellow, pink, as well as the green mums. We will get some different flowers, and also let's find a new customization for Hazel's house. Well, so we could go more for something like this, like the simple tan, or we could also make it more yellow, I guess. Let's also check out this siding. Maybe there's some cute options here too. I feel like there is not enough spring core customizations, but I'm leaning towards maybe something like this. It's like very subtle spring core vibes, but I think that is exactly what we're going to be looking for in this entrance, just because of all of the like green and white pumpkins and not having too many other colors. I think we can go with a bit more color in some other areas, but for the entrance, let's do this one, and I will see you again once I've exchanged the flowers. And I guess here we are with the finished result. Now I would probably have a different villager, so oh my god, drift, no! Also, you see like a dark flower just kind of peeking through. Ignore, please. Also ignore drift. Okay, I'm gonna wait until he's gone. Right, okay, as I was saying, I would probably have a different villager, so the picture would look a little bit different, but I think this is very good. Now I switched out the little springy ride-on for a floof because I felt like it was better with the color scheme. I'm very excited to see this back to back with like the fall one, because I think seeing the difference is really going to be awesome. And I will say that I believe some other areas might be even better because they include more flowers and therefore like bring the spring core vibe across a little bit better. Whereas in this one, there's not really that many flowers, which is maybe not the best. It does kind of continue all the way over here with the gazebo and those mush parasols, and I do really think this kind of looks like a spring island instead of a fall island. I'm not sure I picked the best day though, because there's barely any wind, as you can see on the windmill, and the sky doesn't have any clouds. So I'm gonna try to find a slightly better one, and I think I also want to see this at the end of March maybe. Okay, we've got Billy thinking in the middle of the entrance, not great, but the clouds are kind of cute, and there is a slight little bit of difference to the grass color. Also, I didn't change the drop mushrooms because I thought the colors like still kind of fit, and there's not really like a spring equivalent for the mushrooms to like drop it. I could use flowers maybe, but I thought maybe the mushrooms I could kind of keep. I don't know if I prefer this or the other green color. Regardless though, let me show you the before and after. So first of all, of course, the quote-unquote before, or basically just the fall version of this, placed in the middle of October, right when maple leaf season starts, with all the orange, red, and yellow tones, and then switching over to the spring core style. Now with tons and tons of green, of course, and then I also tried to incorporate a bunch of white, yellow, and a little bit of pink as well. This is actually a lot of fun, so I'm excited to now work on the other parts. So next up, let's work on our apple orchard. So this is currently what we're dealing with here. Now I will say, of course, the green color of the trees already changes this area like a lot, but it still looks a little bit weird if we're really looking at this with like a spring core aesthetic. So I think I'd like to switch out all of the apple trees for peach and pear trees instead. And that will hopefully like blend the colors in a little bit better already. I mean, we're definitely gonna have to adjust some of the items, but let's start with all of the trees. I'm just replacing the trees with saplings, and this is looking kind of hilarious. Look at this. I mean, it probably would make the most sense to like switch everything out now because I have like the most access to everything. But then again, I don't know. I don't know if I want to maybe just do this more gradually. Okay, I still have to exchange the trees on the cliffs though. Isn't this looking perfect? I think this is awesome. Okay, but maybe we actually should exchange a few of these items and then just have like this big reveal, I guess, and then just like adjust colors, flower colors maybe. Okay, we're gonna do a floof carriage again. Then let's tackle all of the arches. I did bring a white windmill, and then also let me exchange all of the wheat fields. Okay, that's already looking a little different. Now let's see what else we have. Oh, there's still some wheat fields up here. Let's also switch out the barrels again, and the tractor will be switched to a yellow version. I do also have different cardboard boxes, but I want to see what type of trees I put there before I establish those. I did bring a different bike though. All right, and with all those changes already in place, it's not everything we have to do. But let's go ahead and time travel so all of these trees are grown in. Oh my gosh, yes. This is wild. The way that that already changes like everything about this area. This is so cool. This is so much fun. Okay, there's a few things I can already see here that I'd still like to change. So first of all, both of the trees that have like the cardboard box here are peach trees. So we're gonna use peach boxes. I do have like a white stacked bottle crate thing. And then also we're gonna drop a pear over here and a peach all the way back there. Okay, let me do those. Yeah, that is a little bit softer. Okay. There is just a few more things that I can see here. So there's the log stakes right there that I still need to switch out. And then there's a couple of things here, like up on the cliff that I wanted to switch out. Like the wheat fields, I have a different Moroccan footrest and leaf stool. And then also like a different log bench. I think apart from that, you don't see much more. And then obviously no dropped apples. You don't even see the log bench, but we're still going to switch these out. And then we're going to see whatever else is missing from the orchard itself. Okay, so those things are adapted. Now, I don't know if I should switch out the fence because like I don't mind it down there. Wait, also aren't we missing a tree there? Hold on. Oh, we are. We're missing one tree because it's like stunted. It's accidentally stunted to the front. Okay, let me fix that. Is there anything else that didn't grow in because of a stunted tree? I don't think so. Now, not paying attention to the pear tree that's missing there, that'll grow in. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the silos. Now, unfortunately, there isn't really a nice spring core variation of these. There's only like the dark green, which I feel like would work. But there are the tanks that come in white and yellow. So I feel like we're gonna check in between those. Let me try the different silos first. It's definitely better than the red, I would say. I just don't know if maybe it's a little bit too dark. You know, it doesn't quite fit this like a light and airy aesthetic. Maybe that's not too bad. Like if we want to stay in the color scheme, I guess these tanks could work. I'm just not sure if they look a little bit too clunky. Like would we actually prefer the silos instead, you know? We're gonna do this though. We're gonna go with this because that way we also introduce the yellow like in the middle of the build and not just to the front here where the tractor is. And now I think I'm only going to worry about like the colors of the flowers that you see from this angle. So I know that there's like a tomato plant right in that far like back right corner here. But since I don't see it from this angle, I don't think I'm going to worry about it. So yeah, I'm going to go and get a flower delivery and then I will show you the finished results of the orchard. And here is pretty much the final result. I went back to our like almost 7 a.m. because I do quite like this lighting. I think it looks really, really cute with this orchard. I honestly like this is going to be so cool to see the before and after because I feel like this has truly transformed. I will say there is still a lot of like red flowers or orange flowers or whatever. And even if you go out of the frame and you kind of see the cafe here, a lot of this is still very much the fall aesthetic, but I did want to have just this frame and I think we did a decent job. So once again, let me show you the before of this area with the apple trees, like a full-blown apple orchard in the middle of fall, to then this soft and blushy pear and peach orchard. I'm really happy with this result and this was once again so fun. So I would say let's move on to the next one. All right, and here we go. Now I think our frame of reference is going to be just this, like when we stand right at the edge, and then we have like the 2 campsites and the little pond and potentially this little campfire to the left. I don't think we're going to include everything to the right hand side. There's like some more tiny campsites, etc. But I think we're really going to focus on this part on the left. We are going to make sure that in like the final result, there is going to be another campsite visitor. But first of all, let's take stock. Now, truth be told, I don't think this is too bad right off the bat. Like we're starting off with a pretty good kind of aesthetic already because this area just has so many like natural looking things. One thing I will very obviously have to switch out are all of the Festivali items. So we've got the balloons, we've got the garland by the log bench. We are going to have to exchange the weed fields for sure. I think there's a couple of like chair customizations we could probably do differently, and the mush parasol. I don't know what to do about the decayed trees because they might be totally fine like that. And then most of this area is going to be like flower swaps, I think. But I would say First things first, let's switch out the balloons. Okay, there we go. That already makes a huge difference. So next up, let me switch out some of the wooden things that I can switch. So like the lock bench, the wooden stool, and I will also take care of the garland and the mush parasol. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere. Now let me actually invite someone in so we can get the full effect. I think we're getting closer to the spring core vibes. Now, I will say the garden shed in the back is also okay for me, like this one over here to the left, because it's yellow. I think that's totally fine. So now the only thing we're missing, or the only thing we have to change, is a few of the wooden customizations. Maybe towards the left here. I don't think I would pan it all the way over there. Like our frame is much more like this. I'm okay with the tree stumps in and of itself because like this is still, we're keeping the decayed trees as well because it's just like a forest. But we can switch the mushroom and we can switch the log stool, I think. There we go. And now one of the big things that I can still see that I want to definitely switch out are the wheat fields. So let's do that. All right, and I think with that, the only thing left for us to do is switch out the flowers and then I'll show you the finished results. And I think here we are. Now again, as soon as you go out of the frame, it's a little weird, but if you go into the frame and you go up so that you don't see that red flower in the front, this kind of looks like a spring core campsite, right? Like I think even obviously the camp colors, like the campsite colors, the white or like cream and yellow and all the balloons, I think this actually works pretty well together. I'm happy with this too. This was much quicker than the other ones I've done, but I really like this. So once again, let me show you the before with the fall variation of this campsite with all the red balloons and all the red and orange flowers, to this spring version of it with all of the light green, very airy colors, lots of like blushy pink as well. Once again, I think this before and after is going to be a lot of fun, and it just shows that the same like idea can be transported in so many different aesthetics as well. And I think the next build that we wanted to change is my own house, which is I think going to be a little bit more work again because there is a lot more things involved. Right, okay, I believe this is the frame that we are gonna be working with. I might adjust like the entirety of this land bridge though. Not sure about the barrels or anything like that's on the left side of like the sunken area pretty much, but maybe we can swap everything out so that at least like this angle could also be cute with like the leaf pile and the wheat fields, etc. And I think the major thing that we once again have to tackle is switch out all of the pumpkins, like all of the grown ones and all of the pumpkin items to be green, and also definitely our house customization. Actually, I think this time I would like to start with the house customization. So let's see what we can do for that one. Now, if possible, I once again would like to keep this type of siding, but for this one, we might also switch to more, maybe this beige brick. I think that one is actually very spring core, so we might go for this. I believe I'm going to get a flower wreath, and I don't know how spring core this roof actually is, but I think this might be our best option, so let's just try with this one. Oh my god, this already changes so much. Hold on. Ooh, I think this is gonna be really cute. Okay, I want to get maybe the green mum wreath, and we're gonna put that on the door. And then I feel like it fits very well with like the type of bricks that we have here. That's pretty awesome. Okay, next step, I would say, is let's switch out all of the pumpkins. We got Flick visiting, and I think all of the pumpkins are now exchanged. So next up, I will exchange all of the pumpkin items. I think we're once again gonna have to do just green because all of the monochromatic ones are not great, but I feel like this is gonna make a huge difference. Once again, that changes so much. This is so much fun to see how much impact it has. Okay, next up, we have a lot of wheat fields to switch out. We have another leaf pile here. Of course, the flowers, those are going to be the last step again. And then I was thinking of switching out the fences for just like wooden simple fences. So let me try what that would look like. Okay, different fencing, I like. Now let's switch out the leaf pile. And then I also just saw that there is another pirate barrel back here that I actually wanted to switch out for the Zenmaizuki ones. And I think I have to get new wheat fields, but that is going to be the next step right after. Okay, well, now that everything is kind of in place except for the flowers, I think I might switch out the simple, like the wooden simple fence for the white version, just because I feel like the brown one in this case, it looks like too orange. I just feel like it doesn't fit with the rest anymore. And then of course we need to figure out some different flowers. So I will try to find some good flowers and switch out these fences, and then I will show you the final result. And here we go. Once again, of course, on the outside, especially like towards the left here, I didn't change anything. So we still got like the fall colors going on, but that looks pretty different to what we started out with, I would say. So I adapted the entire like land bridge. Sometimes there's a bit more on flower overlap than previously, just because I feel like I didn't pay just as much attention. But from the angles that I always want to take the pictures from, I think it's fairly decent. I'm really liking this. I love this color scheme. This makes me kind of think of Meliora, like the fairy kind of meadow aesthetic. And yeah, no, I think this is really cute. So once again, I'm going to show you the fall version of this with all the warm red and orange tone, like November maple leaf season colors. To, of course, once again, our spring core version of it. Again, there's lots and lots more green, kind of like cream colors, white, blush pink, and just olive. Honestly, this like lush color just always feeds my soul so much. Once again, I love this before and after comparison. And now, I believe, last but not least, we just have the neighborhood to work on. So it's always interesting to walk between these areas that have been done. So like the orchard, of course, looks completely like adapted for the spring core aesthetic. And then you kind of just walk into the fall type like filler areas. It's super interesting, but just once again goes to show how much the different colors really change an area. And so here is the last area that we need to do. So we got 4 houses here and just a few decorations around. Let me find the angle that we previously had, and we will see what the current situation is. And there we go. I think this is the angle. And I will say there's not that many things we have to adapt here, just because a lot of this is like natural things, you know, like the trees, the shrubs, like the tree stump, like all that stuff can completely stay. I am definitely seeing some wheat fields that we need to switch out once again for the pale green version. Obviously, we're going to switch the pumpkin things to have green pumpkins. There's like just a few wooden customizations, like the log stool. We've got the leaf stool, I think, back here by Sally. The Moroccan footrest could be a different color. So some of those things, I think I'll keep the fence here. I'll keep the sugar cane. I think all of that works totally fine. We'll switch out the hand cart, and then we might switch this mushroom to be the white version of it. And then the most important part for this one will obviously be the houses. But I would say, yeah, let's just kind of try some stuff around. Right, all the pictures have been changed. Now let me figure out the pumpkin items. Okay, we're getting there. Let's tackle the wheat fields next. Okay, I need to get a different color of covered wagon, and also the leaf pile still needs to be switched. That's looking a lot better. Now I do have a few leftover flowers, so I will put those to good use, and then I will get the rest of the flowers and check back in, and then we need to customize some houses. Actually, the flowers that I still had were enough for this area, so we can move right ahead to customizing the houses. But before, I did just want to share, like even before customizing them, even with them still looking very much like fall, this already looks so incredibly different. Like just because of the green, just with like a few adaptations like the leaf piles and the wheat fields, etc. I'm honestly like so excited about this. Okay, we are going to start with Drift's house. We're going to go clockwise, and we're also once again going to try and keep the shape that they currently have. All right, here's Drift's house, and we're basically just gonna try and find anything like more cream colored, yellow, green, and pink, I would say. Okay, I like the house customization like that with the white siding and the pink roof. Now the only thing we need to figure out, because I do like the door, so I want to keep that if possible. So now we just need to find a door decoration. How about the iron plate in a different color? That's kind of cute. Maybe I want to actually try this, look at it, and then see it with the other houses together, and then kind of decide from there. Let's do this for Drift's house. Okay, here's Elmer's house, and I think for this one I want to try and just have it be like a light brown log exterior. And then we could give it like a white roof. I think that's really cute. And then maybe a white door as well, but I feel like the basic one isn't really perfect anymore. Or this one, because it kind of blends in with the exterior as well. Maybe we'll actually do this, have the door be kind of like the siding, but then add like a bit more color with the wreath itself. Yeah, let's make this Elmer's home. Number 3 is Sally's home. Let's see what we can do here. Now this is the same type of house as Billy will have as well. So I think we need to kind of see that we give them both different houses. Obviously we could do like a really pink one. We could give her like a yellow house actually. And then maybe Billy can have the cream panel siding. Unfortunately, the roof colors for this one aren't great, but maybe this one is okay. Like the beige kind of cream. We could give her a pink door. I don't know if that's like too much color. I feel like I'm not the best at like spring core exteriors, but that's okay. I think the general vibe will like still come together even if like the houses in and of itself are maybe not the best. Maybe I like this. Not that the paw print makes much sense for Sally, but it's just cute, right? Okay, let's try this one. And last but not least, here is Billy's home. Now, I think the door in and of itself is okay, plus the decoration could just be adjusted in color. Let's see what type of siding we're going to use. We could make it very light colored. I'm a little worried it's going to be the same as for the entrance, and I'm not going to really like it in the end. I feel like this is a little too much, though. You know what? Let's try it, let's look at it, and then we can still come back and change it if we don't like it. And now for full effect, let's go into this frame, and then I will time travel to the next day, and we'll look at all of these houses. Oh my god, this is so different. What the heck? I actually have the picture of the fall area on my other monitor right now. Seeing these two in comparison is wild to me. I think I'm happy with all the houses though. I'm totally okay with them like this, and therefore I'm gonna switch this to the correct time, and then I'll show you the before and after. And there we go. All right, I'll give you a tiny little tour and walk around again. We've adjusted all of the pumpkin things to be green. We switched all the houses to be more of a springcore aesthetic and all the flowers, of course. And then over here to the right is where you see the fall aesthetic peeking through again. But I think we really did a good job. And even though this roof is red, I think it's okay in the grand scheme of things. I don't know if there's like another well that you could use. I guess you could use the shell one, but I feel like the aesthetic of this one wouldn't really fit too well. But yeah, no, I'm totally okay with this. All right, let me show you the before of our fall court neighborhood with all the darker house customizations and the red flowers, etc. And here we are with this area in the springtime edition. We switched all of the houses around. We kept their shape, but completely switched their color scheme. And I honestly can't believe how much these few changes changed this entire area. And that concludes our little project. This was so much fun. If you have a seasonal themed island, I highly encourage you to try this yourself, because even just with a few twists and tweaks, like just changing your codes and switching to the right season and switching out like specific items that have more than that one color customization, makes such a big difference, and it makes you see these areas in a completely new light. Like, it's interesting to see how I built these areas with like a fall aesthetic in mind, like more darker wood and stuff like that, but then changing just a few details around it made it perfect for a spring or like just green themed island as well. I will once again give you a little before and after kind of montage of all the areas that we created today. Definitely let me know down in the comments below which one was your favorite transformation, and do you prefer fall or spring in the game? And then that pretty much concludes our Hokkaido videos. I think that is going to be the last one from this island. I had so much fun with this island. Thank you all so much for being on this journey on this island with me. It was a lot of fun. I hope that you also enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and also make sure you subscribe for more fun projects in the future. And then I hope I see you in the next video. And until then, I hope you have an awesome, awesome time. Bye everyone.